Viewers, thank you once more, and now we are on part 2 of our interview of the NASA Secretariat Minnesota, and we are now going to ask Mr. Ogoro Samuel, how is the NASA Minnesota chapter or the diaspora encouraging voters through mobilization and other strategies the NASA coalition is trying to reach out other people to vote, the Kenyans to vote in Kenya? Can you please give us an overview of how the Minnesota chapter is doing that?
Thank you, Mr. Kebwata, once more for according us this opportunity to come to your studio. And congratulations, we are glad to have you as one of us who can afford to have a studio, so that instead of us really going to see how can we air our grievances or how can we be heard from diaspora, we thank you very much for, God, having guided you to have this.
Welcome.
We in the diaspora, we sometimes are very limited that we can do as far as elections are concerned. Initially, we thought the diaspora will be able to vote. The process started. They said they are opening consulates and all that, Minnesota being one of them, but somehow in the process, the process didn't work, and finally, in short, we are not going to vote. But we are very much concerned on how best we can go about this so that our voice can be heard back home. This is Minnesota chapter, NASA chapter. Our really problem, our concern is good governance. If we had good governance with the current government, maybe we wouldn't have a problem, because basically there is little we can do from here as far as home is concerned. If we had good governance, maybe we will be okay with, because all we need back home is good governance. But unfortunately, we don't have good governance. So that's how we came in diaspora and say, for sure, where we are, we work here, we pay taxes, they use them to do everything, and everything, all systems are working. Back home, things are not the same. How best can we help people back home? Elections are coming. How best can we, now that our voices will not be heard from here, which other avenues can we use our voices to be heard back home? The NASA Minnesota chapter, kind of, that's why we came together. And your vote is your voice. Your vote is the change that you are yearning for. Your vote is the good governance you are yearning for. But unfortunately, from here, we are not going to vote. So we have decided to see how best we can go about it with our people back home, to encourage them to go and vote, because the corruption they are talking about, they can change that corruption through the vote. They can change, they can have a better life through their vote. They can have better health care through their vote. They can have clean water through their vote. So from diaspora, as my colleagues have said here, we are going to adapt a polling station. We are adapting a polling station. You understand what? We're going to sponsor one polling station. But as we adapt one polling station, we are encouraging our people.
You are going to sponsor one polling station as a chapter, or what are you saying, Mr. Goro?
We are going to sponsor one polling station per member.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As the Secretariat,
okay,
we are going to sponsor one polling station, and from diaspora, we're going to hold meetings to synthesize with our people locally here from the diaspora, so that many of us come out in large numbers to sponsor those polling stations. But as we sponsor the polling stations, we are encouraging our people to come out in large numbers. As I said earlier, the vote that you hold is the change you are yearning for. The roads you are crying for, they are being held by the vote you are holding. The clean water you are holding the better education you want, the better maternity services you want in hospitals, they are being held by the vote you are holding. So we are requesting our people to come out in large numbers that day. At the same time, from Diaspora, we are partnering with them locally to see if there is any way we can help them. If there are any barriers that they have to be able to come out that day, we are able to partner them, be it transportation, be it what. We are ready to partner them so that that day we realize that dream, that day they exercise their power. Our main message to them is that the change they are yearning for is in the vote they are holding. So if they want that change, let them come out that day and make that change. And if there are any barriers they have, from Diaspora here, we are ready to go to work with them, overcome these barriers, but let them understand that the change that they want is in the vote they have. We are really encouraging them that day to come out in large numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now this question is going to Mr. Ombuna. Mr. Ombuna, as an aspirant, what have you basically seen from the ground? And not only that, what advice can you give the NASA coalition in order to succeed in dislodging your main competitor, which is Jubilee? Can you please give us your perspective? It's your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Kibwato, for the opportunity that you've given us to be in your studio so that we can let our people, both in the diaspora and back home in Kenya, that we stand here for them and we really want to work towards the good governance that most of my people here have mentioned. First of all, as an aspirant, I've been on the ground for most of my time. I just came from Kenya the other week, and what I can tell people in the diaspora, for those who have really not gone back home, I want you to know that our Kenyans are suffering. Kenya itself is in danger. The poverty level in our country is so disgusting. You cannot believe that people are dying because of poverty in a country that we have leadership that we see day and night, them walking from one place to another, looking for votes, and people in the other part of the country are dying because they don't have food. It's very, very discouraging when you see people dying in a country like Kenya, a country that has been there for many years and people really love coming to Kenya as tourists. One of the things that I want to let people in the diaspora know that most of us, we love our country. We love our country, and that is why even some of us have offered ourselves to go down there and be part of that leadership so that we can make the changes that our people are yearning for. We want to be, sometimes what we've realized that we cannot fight corruption when we are outside. We want to get in the system because in the real sense, we don't have systems in place. Devolution government is something that we all need to go for. We live in a country where we've seen what devolution means. We live in a country where we see things that our people need back home. But the problem is we borrowed this devolution government to our government back home in Kenya, but the people on the ground really don't know what devolution means. And I've offered myself as a candidate to get to the ground with the exposure that we have, with the experience that we've acquired from this country. We want to get down on the ground and make sure that we give our people what they want. Number one, we need to empower our women. We need to empower our youth. We need to make sure that even the less privileged people, they are being recognized in our communities. These people have been forgotten completely. The less privileged people in our community, nobody even talks about them. People who went to school and they are sitting out there, nobody even talks about them. They have been left there, they're running all over our communities. They are not giving any income. They are not giving anything to the community. So the systems that we've seen in the United States look like women. How do we empower our women? We have to empower our women by recognizing them, by making sure that we have them in the leadership system. Look, like the youths, we want to say that the youth are the leadership of tomorrow, but if we can't involve them in the current leadership, how will they gain that experience? We want them to get experience when they become part and parcel of any decision making in our communities, in the counties, and even in the ward levels. We cannot make decisions for the youth when you don't know the problem the youth are facing. You cannot make a decision for women when you don't know what women are facing. So that's why we stand very well, that women should be given opportunities to make decisions for things that affect them. Youth should be given opportunities to make decisions on things that affect the youth. You cannot sit in the office making decisions for other people and you don't know what is affecting them. Another thing that is very important, our healthcare system. Our healthcare system is very, very, very disgusting. People go to the hospital, no medication. You go to the hospital, you are told go and look for medicine somewhere else. It's very, very bad when you see our people dying. You go to the hospital, people are dying every day just because there's no medication. We have a system that we are borrowing from the diaspora, a system where you go to the hospital, we have medication, a system where you go to the hospital, you are treated before you are asked for money. Money you will be asked later when your life has been saved. That's what we mean by the devolved government, bringing services closer to the people. We've never really seen the services closer to the people. As one of my friends said, corruption is from up there. It started up there. That's why it has come down up to the ward level. Our MCAs back home, my brothers and sisters who are MCAs back home in Kenya. I'm coming down as an aspiring MCA in Nyamaya ward, and I want to say that I love you so much. But please, my plea to you, my cry to you is, you are there because you want to serve our people. Don't be there for your own stomach. Make sure that you got a position. They voted for you because they believed in you. They want to come to you that, okay, we have a problem with our education. Support them. If there is any system is in place that will help them make sure that their kids go to school, please support them. Don't go to this position with an aim of going there to eat. That is not why we need you there. Be there, support our people, and stop dishing money during elections. We know poverty level in our people in our communities is too high. But please, don't take an advantage of that and start dishing money for election. Ask for votes in a very clean way, and you'll be voted in if they think you are the right person. And we want to cry to our people very, very clearly that this time around, we as NASA from Minnesota, we have come together. We have tried to leverage all our resources to make sure that we support NASA. We support NASA as a group back home to make sure that NASA takes over the next government. Because we've seen a lot of things that, like, let's give ourselves like Raila. Raila has made that country what it is now. There's a lot of things, a lot of corruption that Raila has mentioned in the past. If you look at all these things, the government has totally done nothing about it. It is corruption. People in the government are doing a lot of corruptions, but nothing is being done so far. So our cry to our people, please stand with NASA. We are here as NASA people in Minnesota, people in the diaspora. Please support the NASA people so that when we come down, people who are coming down like aspirants, please also support them so that when we come down there, we have the resources to make sure that we talk to our people, we tell them what is supposed to be done so that people can change their life. We need our people to change their way of life. Otherwise, Mr. Kebwato, I want also to take the opportunity to thank you so much for actually inviting us for this interview. This is very important. We want our people to understand what we really need to be done in our country. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. Kebwato. I think as we keep on moving forward, we'll understand very well why NASA Minnesota chapter has been created. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we want you guys to please give us some information of any plans you are having ahead for the NASA Minnesota chapter, or we call it secretariat. Do you have any plans for your people?
Actually, Mr. Kebwato, if I may say, Sometimes I get very emotional when you mention about the people back home. When you mention about the people back home, sometimes it's very emotional when you look at this. I just want to mention briefly because he mentioned about it. You know, my business here, and I think our business here, is to put the NASA government to power. Our business is to put the NASA government to power because we have lost hope with what is going on in Kenya at the moment. You know, if a government cannot even afford people to have ugali, to afford ugali, even eggs, you know, mayai. If people cannot afford mayai in Kenya and ugali in Kenya, what is the business of that government in Kenya anyway? If people cannot really afford that, if the government cannot guarantee that little, you know, that basic food in Kenya, there's no need of that government. If you look, if you look at it, there's no need of that government. But what you are saying, we have a plan. And as you said, we have plans lined up. Right now, we're having plans on how we are raising funds, how we fund adopting a polling station. And actually, as you said, we are waiting for the flag bearer. You know, we slowed down a little bit because there were nominations back home and we were following. Our members have been following nominations back home. So we slowed down. But we have many ways we are raising funds for adopting a polling station in Kenya. Which one of them actually, as I was talking, there were so many people who were calling into the NASA office. They were saying, when is the NASA night? People are waiting for the NASA night because out of that we are going to raise funds to fund our operations. Mm-hmm. But people are also waiting for the flag bearer. But for us, we have committed ourselves. We are not saying it's going to be Raila, it's going to be Kalonzo, it's going to be Wetangula. Whoever they give us, we are going to support them. Yeah. But you know, some of us in Minnesota, if you may laugh a little bit, we are inclined to Raila because, you know, he is like, he found us. he has been to Minnesota, he has been here, he found us. So sometimes we are inclined to Raila. But we will be open to whoever they give us. But one of the things that is coming up pretty soon is the NASA night. That is coming up very quick. And then the other one is through our website. We are going to be raising funds for the adopting a polling station. And there are many other things maybe, my brother.
Thank you very much.